Hi, folks. Thanks for joining in. We'll just give it a minute for other people to join in and we'll start at about 4:05. So, while we wait, quick context on what we are going to be covering today. So, this session is really about one idea. Your customer conversations already contain a lot of the answers that your business might be looking for. But the problem is that most teams are never really able to access that kind of intelligence. And so, in this session, we're going to unpack what's hiding inside those conversations and how your business can actually leverage it. Joining me today are two people who spend most of their time actually working with this problem in the real world. We have Anuja Dhawan with us, who leads the product management here for the CQA product. And then we have Devdatta, who is the lead AI consultant. Rest assured, we have experts who can answer all questions that you might have and take us through a deep dive of how this module and this product can bring more intelligence to your business. I'll be moderating this, but most of the good stuff will come from them. Every business here is already sitting on massive amounts of conversation data. So you have calls, chats, WhatsApp, AI interactions, thousands of them every day, right? But here's the uncomfortable question. Do you actually know what's happening inside them? Not what you think is happening, what's actually happening. So a question to you, Anuja. When we say, right, that most teams don't know what's happening, what does that actually look like in practice?
Sure, Shubhanjali. Thanks for the question. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. And it's super exciting to see that a lot of folks are super interested to add AI layer into their stack. So it's very motivating for us to build and keep building towards the right direction. So when we say that most people don't know what's happening is what we really realize when we dig deeper into some of these conversations, some of these customers we are working with, that usually at an enterprise, somebody sets out an SOP, which is very detailed. How should a rebuttal happen? How should you be able to taking those support conversations which are happening? That is very clearly laid out with a lot of effort. But what happens really on ground in that conversation, in that frustration from the customer or in that panic, it is very, very different. So it's instead of creating a SOP and then going to calls, what AI is able to do is from these real calls that are happening, you can really understand what is the ground reality and where is it that you really need a SOP and what you don't need in your SOP. Because we don't have to burden our agents, but give them the precise information they need at that moment to be able to answer the customer. So that is the lens change that we're able to see with some of the customers we are working with.
Thanks, Anuja. So, like she was just talking about, this is the gap. So, on paper, we think that all the SOPs are followed, scripts are adhered to, your customer issues get resolved faster. But what happens in reality is steps get missed, violations show up later, customers call back multiple times for the same issue. And the biggest problem, 97% of what's actually happening, most organizations do not know. That data is basically invisible. So, and that lets you think about, okay, how can we shift how we think about support issues? How can we shift the support function into a growth function? Today, in most businesses, support is treated like a cost center. Tickets come in, tickets get resolved, CSAT gets tracked, but that's about it, right? But every conversation actually contains signals like upsell intent, competitor mentions, pricing fictions, feedback, feature requests, competitive intel, compliance risks, and most of that just goes nowhere. So, just a question to you, Anuja, can you give us an example of a customer where we implemented CQA and they found something in their data that they genuinely were not expecting?
Sure. I think people are facing some echo. Shubhasli, if you can mute yourself when I answer.
Sure.
Yeah, I hope it's better for you guys. If not, please put out on chat. We'll make further adjustments, but we are in different rooms, so it should not happen now. So very interestingly, what we saw with one of the customer was that they had a process specifically that if somebody on a support call calls up for a renewal, or while having a support conversation, they also want to inquire that my renewal is due for the subscription that I have with you. What are the plans looking like, so on and so forth. So the SOP or the protocol was that you should not answer that question right away. You should raise a ticket, and a salesperson is going to then call back and then tell them whatever these plans are. What we saw when it came to CQA is that a lot of such queries were coming, but when later these people were called back, the response rate was very low. People were not answering, and their subscription was sort of churning out. They made this change to SOP where they said basic information can be given by a support person also, because they understand the product, they understand subscription, and they started doing that. That on support calls, when somebody is inquiring about renewal, they are able to tell them the plans as well, and then redirect them to a salesperson to have a more deeper conversation. They saw that the renewal rate basically for these specific tickets increased by 20, because they got information when they needed and not as per the SOP. So that's the change in direction that we're able to bring about with a lot of deeper insights from the real conversations. Do some experiments with on ground agents, and then see what is that impact. So that's the journey we are working with customers and seeing great results.
Right? The 2026 problem. We have all deployed agents, but who is actually watching them? And that is where CQA comes in, right? So, Anuja, how different is QA for AI versus human agents?
Thanks, Shivanjali. Um, it's similar, but it's also very different in terms of the outcome. What do we do with that information? With human agents, what we are seeing is twofold. One is, of course, agent performance, where we want to see how the performance is, what does the compliance look like, is the SOP followed or not. The second, which came very organically when we looked at a lot of these customers at scale, was SOP improvements, SOP gaps. What is it that we don't have? The example that I gave, and that came out very organically. With voice bot, we are seeing same product but different use cases. One is for all the people who've not deployed AI agents so far. CQA can be that bridge for you to understand where to deploy voice bot, right? Because again, this is a evolving technology. It can do certain things very well and certain things it's still learning. But CQA, some of our customers are using CQA to figure out what are the different intents of the call that I'm getting, bucketize them, and then only automate some of those calls which are a little bit more straightforward, which is just a delivery status check, or just any status check for that matter. And more complicated calls, which is about renewal, it is about some escalation, then they are routed to a human agent still. So that is one where we are enabling a lot of people to identify where you can put a voice bot, because everybody should be putting a voice bot today to deviate some of the simple calls there. So that's one. Now, second, for people who are able to use voice bot at scale, now there is no human involved, right? There is a lot of AI conversation happening with real customers. Your brand is at stake, so you would still want to understand at an insight level that what are these conversations, what is the bot having a conversation about. So that's where the similar analytics that we were doing into an agent is what we're able to do into a voice bot also. Tell you where your voice bot is failing, tell you where do you want to fine tune your voice bot, tell you what are the typical questions that you are getting again and again, which do not have a containment rate, so then you can take corrective measures, so on and so forth. So you can put a voice bot, but the technology is so evolving and technology is so vast that we'll have to keep coming back and making sure that it is better, and get again your business insights from the conversations which are happening. What is my churn reason? What is the next feature should I be building? What is the competition that's been spoken about? So all of these insights will still be on those calls, which can be extracted with CQA and be presented for your business decisions.
Thanks, Anuja. So while you're talking about all of this, right, and that is what we can do with CQA. We can help you with different type of intelligence. We can help you with your process. We can help you with operational intelligence. We can help you with strategic intelligence. And these are the different kinds of signals that should actually frame and make your decisions so that you have actual data that you are making your decisions on. So, uh, can you elaborate on how businesses can actually use these signals to make decisions, and which of these signals are businesses usually not looking at or underestimating the most?
Sure. So, see how I look at this. I've been in the SaaS ecosystem for quite a long time to understand in terms of what are the pain points. And what we are seeing is that support specifically has been always a cost overhead, right? Where it's a cost center. These customers have already sort of subscribed and are paying, but they keep coming back with certain issues, which always were a cost. With CQA, what we are seeing is that people are able to convert that cost center into a ROI driven ecosystem by taking the right decisions, right? So the example that I gave about renewal as well, now their support team is able to enable or nudge their customers to renew as well. And if it has an impact on my revenue side, then I stop looking at it like a cost head and I want to look at it like my growth engine, because retention is what happens on support. And if I am able to make better decisions on my support, then that's how it converts into a growth engine per se. So that is the change we are expecting. And support, I really believe, is the major factor which we see is getting disrupted with all of this AI that's happening. And hence CQA sits at that right cusp, where if you are able to adopt to this, you will understand what can be disrupted, what is it that is replaceable with certain automated workflows, and one by one we are seeing people increase their scope of using AI and then keep a overarching analysis with the CQA.
Got it. Okay. And so after hearing all of this, right, you must be thinking, okay, I will automate it, I will get those decisions. But then there are certain numbers that actually back this. There are certain numbers, like for example, one of the research reports says that you can expect an average ROI of 344% in 12 months with the amount of data that you can mine and get intelligence from. You can get a 70% reduction in manual QA costs. And the most interesting bit, you can get a 25% drop in agent attrition. Because what this basically means is less manual work, right? Less manual work, better agents. Finally, better customer experience, and that leads us to actual business impact. So when agents get specific data backed feedback instead of arbitrary critiques, job satisfaction goes up. Turns out people respond well to being coached fairly. So all said and done, let's get to the meaty part of this webinar. Let's look at the product, and we have Deb here who can take us through how the product looks, how can it help you, how you can create these quality profiles for yourself, and what you can do with them. Over to you, Deb.
Thank you, Shivanjali. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining here. Yeah, so let's go to the product workflow. I will deep down to the how we will be creating the quality profile section, how the analysis look like, and how it will be add on to your business and the strategic part and the process part of it. Good afternoon to everyone. So, in the domestic enterprise space, we manage millions of minutes conversation every month. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Most organizations only hear 1 to 2% of what their customer are actually saying. The rest is a blind spot. So why we are talking about CQA? Why we're talking about more about why should we adapt the QA part? The first thing, the eliminating bias. Manual QA, what I believe is a type of subjective thing. One person might rate a vibe differently than another. AI doesn't have a bad Mondays. It apply logic, your quality profile consistently across your 100% of your call. The reasoning gap and the speed to insight. In sales or collection, a trend can change in hours. Manual QA takes weeks to report. CQA give you the pulse of your domestic campaigns in real time. Now, let me quickly walk through the how my system is work. It's basically a two-step process, and what are the features that can gives you that strategic insight, business insight, and the operation KPIs for your business. Okay, so the first process is your quality profile section. Why quality profile? It's basically so when we are talking about quality profile, is a strategic logic. We start by uploading a quality profile. Quality profile is basically the manual QA parameter you are having. For example, in this case, you can see there are sort of QA parameter that has been listed by the client, like how was the communication skill of the client, how was the product knowledge, how was the problem solving and the resolution. And there is some criteria how the manual key is evaluating, access the whether the agent follows the right protocol. There are tons of QA parameter which we are doing in the manual QA part. Now, how we are coming in the picture? We will take your quality parameter. Like when I say we start by uploading the quality profile, think of this as a giving the AI your master code. Using system generator language or a prompting, we tell the LLM exactly what a good call looks like. It's like for a sales campaign versus support ticket, you are effectively cloning your best QA manager's brain. So once I got your quality profile, we will upload it in the KPI. Now in the KPI sheet is basically the prompting part, like our system generated knowledge. Now there is in the KPI sheet there is also something called critical level profile. Critical level, sometime in your business case, there is something called fatal parameter. So when I saw about the fatal parameter, is something the your business needs to look out, like the safety net. Like now we know that your sales and connection not all errors are equal. Missing a greeting is a coaching moment, but failing to read a regulatory disclaimer or identify verification is a fatal error part. To handle this, we have introduced called critical KPI, which this is basically your safety net, which you allow you to define at 4 granular levels, giving you total control over how a score is scored. Like we have three different type of critical profility level can be defined. One is a profile level. Profile level is basically if this parameter is missed, the entire call fails. Like for example, if I choose the criticality level to the profile, and if there is something that an agent missed to follow in this particular in this particular KPI, then whole KPI will be rewarded at 0. Now, category level, suppose you have a category for product knowledge. If I choose a category for a product knowledge, then, like for example, if I choose category and if I choose it for the product knowledge, if the agent fails a critical KPI here, the entire product knowledge score drop to 0. We have similar for the subcategory and the none. So once you define the quality profile with your KPIs, with your critical parameter defined, then we upload it in our system. So basically the first step is to upload a quality profile. In the upload the quality profile section, you just have to upload the KPI sheet. And then we have something called SOP document. Now, if you are a BSFI client, you have lots of compliance that needs your agent to look out. That time, it is humanly not possible to go to all the documents that what your agent was talking about. Now you upload all the relevant 100 documents, 200 documents to my system along with the quality parameter you define. Now my system will be able to identify, okay, for that particular parameter, the agent has used the right compliance issue or not, or the agent has used the right policy document or not. So this is the first step process. Now, once the quality profile is uploaded, the second thing is directly integrating with your system and to upload the audio profile, is to upload the audio files. Once you create the quality profile, give it a evaluation name, choose the quality profile that you have uploaded. Once you upload the quality profile, just drag and drop the audio. So currently I'm showing you in a very manual way, but when I will be integrating with your contact center or the platform system you are using, then we'll be directly doing this all the call automation by your integration. So basically all the call recording will be automatically fetched based on the logic you will set in my system. Now, once you have uploaded the quality profile, once you have once I fetch your recording, then this is how the quality profile, how your analysis look like. So once I open the analysis, I can see the overall quality profile score. summary of the call, intent of the call, sentiment, and the vibe of the call. Now, currently, you can see what is the overall quality profile of that particular agent. Once I click any of the quality profile, left hand side I can see the transcript, like what was we are giving a diarized transcript, like for example what the agent was speaking, what the customer was speaking. In the overview tab, you can all the metadata related information can be done. So once I integrate it with your platform or your contact center, I can get all the metadata related details, like for example team name, agent name, etc. And on the right hand side you can see all the individual KPI scoring, and we have proper AI reasoning for that. Like when your manual QA person is auditing, they will not give you a proper reasoning of all the 2% of the call they have audited. But AI will give you the reasoning for every call they have audited. Like for the example, if the answer was yes, what is the AI reason that the AI has given? The agent said hello, and what is the reason? So every tip to details you can get it. What are the justification score? Is the AI justification or not? Okay, now I'll be talking about something called most interesting feature called assignment rules. Assignment rules is basically like suppose you are having something called campaigns, like you have two different type of campaign. Now you give some assignment rule called yeah. Once you create the quality profile, once you choose the quality profile, there you can define the assignment rule. Assignment rules is basically you are filtering some of the calls based on the contact center. Like for example, if you have 20,000 call here in contact center and you just want to analyze only 10,000 call or the 5,000 call based on agent name, agent ID or campaign ID, then you can configure all this logic in terms of assignment rule. So you have the filter for metadata, you can choose the team, you can choose the operator, you can choose the value. Once you set the assignment rules, my system will only analyze that particular campaign calls, that particular 5,000 call out of 20,000 call from your contact center. So this is how I can analyze the details of your contact center, like what you are looking into. Like if I simply term in the assignment rule is something which is a game changer. Not many of you are thinking I have 20,000 calls a day. I don't need to analyze every single routine greeting. I need to find the needles in the haystack. This is why we build the assignment rule. Like based on the AHT use case, based on the campaign use case, based on the logic, like for example, agent ID, campaign, duration, disposition, I can analyze those particular calls through the with the help of assignment rule. Okay. Now I have uploaded a quality profile, I've set the assignment rules, I've done the analysis. Now, when I see in this tab, I cannot see the granular level data. But if you are CXO or you are a QA manager, you want to see all this data in the granular level, a site of visualization. So based on all your analysis, we have built a dashboard, a CX Insight dashboard. Currently, this dashboard is basically your customer on the basis on the customer support insight. So based on the analysis we can make, we can build a customizable dashboard based on your use case, based on your business use case. Like if you can see in this dashboard, you can see, okay, what was the total number of conversation you can see has been done? What is the total number of ticket? What's the ASP of the thing? What is the conversation per channel? What was the language used by the agent? What was the vibe analysis? Is it professional, helpful, confused? Every single thing, every single details you can be visualized in the dashboard. Like you can see the product versus like for example here I have 10 set of agents, and 10 set of agents are measured on three different type of product category. And you can usually see, okay, the agent 2 is very good at credit card, but that agent 2 is very scoring at the mobile banking product category. Means my system or that particular QA manager needs to look of the agent 2 in the mobile banking product category part, because the number of score, the total number of score out of 40 scored by the agent 2 was 30. So all this important granular level data, this customizable dashboard can be built. Okay, cool. Now I'm talking about you have sorted the data, profile level done, everything is done. Now how your agent will be working on it. there needs to be something called what the agent can see the analysis and the supervisor can raise the dispute or resolve the dispute. Now we are currently talking about the admin panel. Now let me quickly overthrow of the agent panel, how the agent panel look like, how your agent will be able to see their analysis, and if they found something, okay, I am missing something, the AI is not able to justify my answer, the agent can raise dispute around it. Now quickly go through the agent panel, show you the agent panel, how the agent panel looks like. So this is how the agent panel look like. Once the analysis is done from my side, the agent will able to also see the what was the overall quality profile of the score, what is the summary of the conversation they have done, what is the intent, sentiment, vibe, everything. So once the agent open any of the call analysis, they can see everything. They can hear the audio from here. They can hear the audio from here, and they can also see the transcript and the overall metadata. Everything remains same. What's difference is that as an agent, like I am an agent, and I am thinking, okay, here the answer was no. I can raise a dispute to my supervisor that the AI has not given a proper justification. Now I can click to the raise dispute. Suggested answer was yes because I feel that okay, I have completed that particular SOP. I choose the answer as yes and key. Then I added a proper justification. Yes, I have followed the SOP. I can also pin the audio at which moment that I feel that I have used a particular SOP, and I can submit it to my supervisor. So once the agent has raised a dispute, you can see the red mark is blocked. Now, the agent has raised a dispute. There will be someone who will be resolving this dispute. I will now going to the supervisor panel, where the supervisor can raise the agent dispute and also they can discard the agent dispute also. So once I logged in the supervisor panel, I can see, okay, like for one agent, there is an open dispute. Supervisor can also see the same thing, same UI, quality profile, open the only extracting, they can see the dispute raised by the agent. How many dispute, summary, intent, vibe remain same. When I open any of the analysis, I can see, okay, the agent has given a dispute for this. I can go to the edit button. I can view the dispute. The suggested answer by the agent was yes, I have followed the SOP, and they have pinned the audio. Now, as a supervisor, I can visualize the answer. I can say, okay, it was correct. I can say yes, and or I can reject the agent dispute also. So once it was as per the SOP, then I update the scope. So once I updated the scope, then I can acknowledge there. Once I acknowledged it, you can see the updated answer. Okay, so there are two features in the supervisor panel. One is to resolve the dispute or reject the dispute. Second one is manual QA. Now, it is something called human in loop. We know that AI cannot be 100% correct. So, as a supervisor, if I feel okay, for this particular answer or this particular thing, I can see that the AI is not able to properly give a proper answer, a proper justification to the QA, then I can burst in and I can change the answer manually. Like if I choose here, I can choose the answer for no to NA or from NA to yes. So for example, I want to change the answer for no to NA. I choose this, I acknowledged it. Once I acknowledged it, I can see the updated score. So the AI scoring was 15 out of 25. The updated score is been given by 20 out of 20. So agent can raise the dispute, supervisor can resolve or reject the dispute, and also do a manual queue at the top of it. So this is pretty much what my tool is. This is pretty much what how you can generate your insight from the business process oriented, or how can audit 100% of your call where you are currently the stat is around 1 to 2%.
Thank you so much, Dave. That was very insightful for all of us. Now we can move on to the QA part of it. Folks, please feel free to drop in your questions whenever you have them. While we still have some questions that we got as part of the registration, we can start with them, Anuja and Deb. And while the audience can please ask the questions that they have. So, one of the questions that we got was, how are we capturing data from various sources into here?
Sure. So basically, of course, CQA, the whole product is very, very closely integrated with all other Exotel products. So if you are a call center ECC user, either of the versions that you're using, we have a close-knit integration where we are able to get all the data. So two sort of data are most important for CQA. One is the call recordings, where all of this conversation is happening, and second is the metadata. What was this customer, what was the disposition of this call, what campaign were they a part of, was it inbound, outbound, so on and so forth, because all of this information really helps us to create contextual analysis on these calls and then sort of come up with certain insights for you. So ECC, we have a very close knit integration then with the platform as well, where we provide a lot of numbers and telephony lines. A lot of all of that data can also be brought into CQA for analysis. And third, we're also built standard integration APIs are available for CQA, from any of your data storage, S3 or any CRM, you can push your data to CQA, which CQA understands and is capable of analyzing. So through integrations that we've built, we're able to get all of this data within CQA.
Thanks, Anuja. And I think we got a couple of questions around repeat conversations. So our audience wants to know how we can use CQA to reduce repeat contact rate or reduce repeat calls and to improve call quality and agent productivity.
Of course, so those are some of the most important factors for which CQA is used. So see, what CQA does is that this is how you use a chat GPT. It's an intelligent tool. You can have a one-on-one conversation with it as a consumer. But when it comes to business, there's a lot of context that you need to give to any AI to be able to derive anything useful. So think of this CQA as your business chat GPT account in certain ways, where it has a lot of context, but analysis and whatever decisions you think needs to be made will be made by you still. What we will do is we will go deeper into your conversations, pull out certain insights, understand what is your business objective. Are you coming to us for sales? Are you coming to us for support? Is it that you want to improve your first resolution? Is it that you want to reduce repeated calls? Depending on whatever your objective is, basis that we set certain KPIs, and basis the response, we showcase it on a dashboard to you, which will enable you to take data back decisions. So that's the journey that we follow with our customers to be able to get to a outcome that they really want to achieve with CQA.
Perfect. Thanks. So we have certain questions, live questions coming in. So so we have a question that says, is this capable of analyzing empathy or use of toned language during the call?
Thanks, Neha, for that question. Yes. So basically, how we analyze these calls is that we just don't create a transcript and then answer our insights and questions, but we also use the voice call recording and give it to a LLM model. So it is able to understand that what was the empathy used in that conversation, what was the tone of the customer. We're also able to tell you what was the confidence score of the customer of whatever agent said. And all of this is derived from the tonality of that conversation that's happened, that we are able to run with the LLM.
Perfect. And we have another question which says, how much time does it take to analyze these calls? Let's say if someone wants to do 1 hour of recordings analysis, and how can they configure their own set of parameters?
Sure. So basically, see, from a call processing standpoint, what we don't do usually 1 hour, but to give you an understanding, this is a pretty fast process. So throughput is about in 1 hour we are able to process with the multiple scale that we already have. In one day we are able to analyze about all the calls that happen during the call, because what we do is that we process it at the end of the day. So you do all your calls in a day. At the end of the day, we pick all the recordings from ECC platform, wherever your call recordings are happening, and then do a batch processing, so that when next day you are able to see all the analysis. But if you just want to analyze how they just showed us test evaluation, so if you upload 10 different calls of 10 minutes each, you should be able to get your output in 15 to 20 minutes at max. So it's a fast processing, it's not a delayed processing. And how
Perfect.
do I configure? Yeah, I can see the question. How do I configure my own parameters? So this product is completely self-serve. So whatever they've showed you, we can give that access. We can set up an account, set up your integration, and end-to-end KPI setting, assignment rule setting, everything can be done at your end. So it's completely self-serve. So once you on board with Exotel, if you're already a customer, great. We can give you a free trial. We have up to 300 minutes free that we can give you if you're an existing any product Exotel customer. We can give you a bare bone product with integration. You can set up your KPIs, change as needed, and then run your analysis.
We have certain more questions coming in. What is the accuracy level like? And
Sure.
can it do real-time analysis during the day?
Sure. So from an accuracy standpoint, what we've done is we've done multiple tests with customer data, with our own data, where we analyze where we do certain scoring with AI, with CQA, and we do the same scoring manually also, how traditionally QA has been running. So we are at a 90% accuracy currently, wherein what a human is rating and what our AI is rating is about a 90% overlap. And what really creates a difference here is that how well are the questions defined, right? So see, again, this is AI that we are using, and until and unless the prompt is written very correctly, you are not going to get the answer that you really want. So if KPI that we are writing and the questions that we are writing are designed in a certain fashion, then accuracy goes beyond 90% as well. Can I, next question is, can I do a live real-time analysis for specific parameters during the day? So we do have another product available within the Exotel ecosystem, which does this real-time as well, which is Agent Assist. Maybe we can have a session on that as well. But CQA is more focused on post-facto analysis. We can do a real time also, like with the 6x, the newer version of our product of ECC. We have a real time integration available. So as the call happens, that comes to our platform, and we're able to analyze it. So that there is a turnaround time of under 10 minutes for every call to be analyzed. So we are of course getting towards real time, almost real time. But if you want real time, we do have another offering that we can share more details about.
Perfect. So I think we are at time, folks. Thank you so much for joining in. Before you leave, we would like to know if you would like to have a one-on-one demo, or to see how, everything that you learned today that can benefit your business. We have a poll question that we have shared that will help us understand your level of, interest, and we can then reach out accordingly. So please do answer the poll question. That will really help us, folks. And we can then reach out to you right after, and then schedule those demos, schedule those conversations, and then we can take that forward.
Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining in and showing the enthusiasm for adopting AI. We are here and we're building a lot of exciting stuff. So we'll keep doing this. Come back next time and we'll have more exciting stuff from our side.
Thank you so much, folks, for joining in. That's all we had for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.